Hey people, um, just recording here. As you can see, the police have decided to arrest this gentleman over here, um, basically harassing him. He was just riding on his bike, and they pulled him over. I'm guessing it's illegal to wear t-shirts. Well, I'm guessing it's illegal to wear a t-shirt, um, in open public now. He might have been a little high. This is a meth area, so just to scan around. People definitely like to do meth around here. I don't do any drugs, but the police, they were gone over the weekend, and there were TV cameras and stuff like that. So, there's very little harassment that goes on when they're not around. But as you can see, they're not here to help anybody. They're not here to help anyone. And when it comes to law enforcement, all of you who have been under surveillance and under attack realize that there's no such thing as law. There's no such thing, and that makes you wonder. I mean, especially if you're just coming on board to what's going on, it makes you wonder, what is their real job? What are they really here for if the laws are fake? And it brings one pause to really understand and realize how deep and tragic this world is, when it comes to the psychopaths that have outlined the way that we should live, and what they've done. And basically, it's a way to stop people from experiencing nature. In truth, I had a conversation yesterday. A One of these religious people came aboard, and they were talking to me. And we got into a whole fit, and not an angry brawl. Anytime I try to stay away from arguing or having debates with religious people, because they live in the fantasy world. They live in a world where they can believe they believe all sorts of bullshit, but only specific bullshit. But it's really funny to me. It's like they believe in some bullshit, but only a predetermined, outlined religious bullshit, and anything outside of that is not allowed. Um, anyway, so I tried to open up this guy's mind a little bit, because he kept talking about Jesus and Jesus that, and I find it very interesting, how people keep saying, or these religious people keep saying, just believe in Jesus, believe in this person will come back and save you, and blah, 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 blah. And I explained to them that I've been on my own journey. I don't need no one else to tell me what nature provides every day. And I have my own personal connection to the greatest one, which is inside me, which is inside all this stuff. If you're alive, I emphasize that if you're a person that's actually alive, you probably have a connection in some way, unless it's been stolen or taken, which they try to do anyway. But you have your own personal connection. Why the hell do you need some fake God to come in between that personal that personal connection with you and the Creator? Why would you need anyone else? What is it that they can do that the greatest one can't do better? And I'm really just taken aback by some people. And after I said that, we agreed to move on, because there ain't no way, there's nothing else that you can say. And personally, everyone who believes in that type of stuff, that's your truth, that's your journey. And I get it. I get why the Matrix, the program, wants to run around telling people that their truth is better than everyone else's, especially because that's what is required for mass indoctrination, for mass brainwashing, and basically to give up your power, your ability to possibly turn into a god yourself. The greatest one is that good. that we've better, okay, has endowed us with the power and ability to protect ourselves, to realize the truth, and to evolve in certain ways and to grow. Who knows if it's evolution, but I consider it soul growth. Basically, you get closer and closer. Your physical self gets closer and closer to what it's like to be in the spiritual realm, to be a soul closer to the greatest one, to be lighter, happier, and full of happiness and joy, where there is no um, stopping the possibilities. It's infinitely instantaneous now, and you can do whatever you want, go wherever you want. Infinite intelligence, happiness, and joy. And the reality is that you got these beings that created these laws, and so that have stopped our ability to realize that we all are potentially have the potential to become gods if you are alive. And if you have that cell inside of you, which is amazing. Unfortunately, they've gone out of their way to make fake people. They've gone out of their way to make fake deities. They've gone out of their way to make fake food, to fake laws, to fake everything, to fake you out, to fake us out, so that we don't know what's going on. And that's one of the reasons why I see police officers anytime. Basically, in my opinion, their job is to take away your power. And in more ways than one, whenever I've been arrested, the first thing I notice is that these guys are infected by probably the worst of the worst negative entities and diseases and parasites. Oh, look, they're letting the guy go or something. I guess they just decided to harass him to pull up his file. And that's what they do, unfortunately. And this whole thing is all fake. They can come up to you and harass you and say, "Hey, you got a warrant." What does a warrant do? From my experience, since I've been in the mind control program, NK Ultra, I've been tracked and harassed. Who the fuck pulls a warrant on these evil Nazi bastards that have done this to us? That's when you got to get to the spiritual world. That's where you have to get to the truth of reality. That these guys are fucking with people and things on a spiritual plane. Now we're getting to that point where and believe me, they have fucked with me on a spiritual plane for quite some time. But now we're being empowered so that we can protect ourselves on the spiritual plane. I'll explain what happened to me. I've been going through some serious thievery of late, where not me, but these entities. I get to a certain aspect of growth spiritually, and they come along and steal it. And this is psychic powers, people. These are abilities to communicate with your family, and the greatest one on the spiritual realm to defend yourself. This is what they're doing. They're trying to take away your ability to protect yourself so that they can continue their onslaught and continue their evil. So what happened to me is that, everything is growth, and everyone will grow in different ways. That's the beauty of the greatest one, because the greatest one knows you better than you probably know yourself, I would suspect, and knows how to engage you in different ways, and everything is a learning process so that you can become better. And one of the things that I have always held me back is prayer. I have never really been that one to pray. I've been saying, almost like the Christians and Catholics, the brainwashing kind of tells you do the same prayer over and over and over and over and over again. So it starts to lose its meaning. The power behind it starts to become diminished because you don't even care about what you're just saying it out of habit. And so I kind of just stopped doing that. I just wanted to kind of pray. Even the Muslims, 5 times a day, the same prayer, blah, 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 blah. Think about the brainwashing behind that. And how, if you're the greatest one, why are you saying the same? I mean, don't you have something good to pray for? I'm not saying I'm the greatest one, okay? But I'm saying that if someone was praying about the same thing over and over and over and over and over and over and over again, it's not really giving thanks. It's just kind of like pulling up weeds, in my opinion. But again, that's my opinion. That's my truth. It may not be your truth. Okay, let's just leave that. In my truth, I think it's good to pray about something that you care about and that is special and that you actually want to help and change with. And so I decided to do that. I decided to enact some prayers. In terms of maybe helping people in another way, helping people get a push towards enlightenment. Maybe you can say it. Maybe a push towards understanding that they have a soul, that they don't need to go through this Christian doctrine or any religious doctrine to find it. Nature is where it's at. You can find who you are through nature, and the answers will come when you're ready. And you don't need some man or some woman to tell you what to do. You can be your own master, and you don't even have to say that. Just, you can be your own guide. Nature can guide you, and it's there. Like the radio waves, like the, I don't know, spirit waves, whatever they are here, surrounding you. You're completely surrounded by other dimensional beings, from my experience, higher dimensional beings that are watching you. Participating in different ways, and maybe helping guide you towards your own personal upliftment and understanding. And when I was having this conversation with this religious guy, you don't hear any of that stuff. All you hear is, well, let's quote scripture, let's quote death, all that written words and all that stuff. It's actually just dead. All that stuff is dead. It's not alive. It's not in the now. It's old. It's old, old, old. It's time to don't you think it's time to rise up and seek the new? The greatest one is it's now. Yes, we can go back to the past and take a look at the past and quote things from the past, but it's also great to experience the now. It's also great to experience the new. It's also great to experience growth in the infinite now, because anything is possible in the now. But when you're quoting all that old scripture, quoting that old Bible verses, all that stuff is dead, man. And that's what I was telling the guys. Like, you can quote it all you want. How many people you see it's helping? I've been in the church. I was raised Christian. I've been in the church. I know what a real minister is like. And they, if anything, they're much worse than the average Good Samaritan, because they get indoctrinated also, and they're I would consider them dead souls anyway, constantly worried about money and only, like, they get to the point where it's a cult, and if you're not in the cult, then you're not acceptable. You have to learn the scriptures. You have to be able to quote from the scriptures and understand, like, it's like blah 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 blah, all this bullshit. All that stuff is old news, man, and it ain't going nowhere. Now, yes, there are beautiful things that you can learn from old ways, but there are things that are universally constant as well. Maybe some numbers, I don't know, some mathematics, maybe, some geometries. It's hard to kind of fake that unless you're in a different dimension, a different realm where that geometry no longer is relevant. From my understanding, everything is kind of a paradox. So once you get your hand on one thing, your grasp, and you think that's the way it is, the universe, the greatest one, nature, comes and shows you it ain't that way. Okay? You thought it was. Psyched your ass out. Psych. Okay? You're dealing with divinity. You're dealing with perfection. And in that case, get your shit off the ground. It no longer is relevant. Your thoughts, your small little thoughts of reality. Once you engage and start to understand the truth of how things really are, it'll blow your fucking mind. And all your little pettiness, these police officers and their petty laws and these petty people attacking you and stealing your shit, they ain't shit, man. They ain't nothing. And we're gonna come get y'all. Alright? You keep fucking with us. We're gonna come get you. Alright? And that's all I gotta say about it. And peace and love, fam. Prayer. Pray for each other. Love one another and do what's right. Peace out.